how to fulfill the lack of love. I had a case a few days ago, and it was about a mother that came with this situation. Her daughter has an issue, a problem, where she cannot lose weight. She's overweight, and she has tried different things, like diets and exercise, and she drinks water, and she does what all the possibilities that are out there. She still cannot lose weight. She goes down to a certain point and then goes back up to the same weight. And so we did a constellation, a family constellation for her, to see if there could be a systemic root or a memory that could be affecting her daughter. And we found this. The father of this daughter died when she was very young he had an overdoses. He was doing drugs, and he went over and he died. And this mom took care of this girl. This girl was very needy of mom. She was mom. She wanted mom to be there. Mom. She was very needy, and it was hard for her that for mom to go to work. For mom, it was that she wanted to be next to mom all the time. So she needed something from mom, and mom tried to give her the most she could, but this girl already had this perception that there was an emptiness that needed to be fulfilled. So since she was a child, she started to fulfill that by eating. I need nourishment. And she also shared this. When the baby was born, she had an issue breastfeeding because her nipples were bleeding, and it was painful for her. So at a certain point, she just couldn't do it anymore. And in the systemic field, when we see this situation, the breastfeeding creates a connection with mom. Mom nourishes. Mom gives me that love through that. Not only the immune system that is created there, but also the connection that is love. And this love, when that situation happened, was like a disconnection. It's called an interrupted love, and it happens with the mother. The mother is very important at the beginning when a baby is born, the most important. And that moment created a memory in this child that says something is wrong with me because my mom doesn't give me that love. So she was needing of that. It's like, give me. And that was the tendency. And she said that she didn't know what else to do but then the memory had already happened. And we went deeper to see why she developed that issue with breastfeeding, because it wasn't just like it happened. It has some emotional behind. And it was that she didn't like the father of the girl. She felt like he didn't recognize her the way she said that she did so much for him, but he never got to see her or see what she did for him or her value. So we ended up seeing here this. When we set the constellation, we could see that she was feeling anger. because he didn't see that he was also feeling anger. We also found that his mother also had some issues with him, with this father, and it was a sort of a rejection as well. So he was feeling rejected by this woman, but also from his mother. So this man had this feeling of rejection that we cannot see sometimes how the other person is feeling, but the only way for him to fulfill that tank of love that was empty was by making drugs. And at a certain point, I need more and more and more. And that was his destiny, the one he chose, because probably he didn't get help or didn't know how to do it. And we respect that and honor that, because with this case, we can see now why we tend to do things without not knowing. Because it's not only eating a lot, it's like I can buy a lot of things to fulfill that emptiness, or I can eat a lot to fulfill that emptiness. It's like that lack of love that makes people overdo things. It has a behind the scenes of what you see is something that is within each of us, within our soul. We all have these memories that need to be resolved. And if we don't resolve them, they can be affecting our lives and our descendants' lives. So it was very beautiful to do this reconciliation in the constellation, because that's what we do. We do create order in a family constellation, and we also have the possibility to create a reconciliation of that memory. So in that memory, they both could see that they were being just a mirror of each other, because they both felt rejected. They both felt like, you don't see my value, you don't see my value. I don't like you, I don't like you. I have anger, I have anger. Both had the same feelings, but they never expressed it that way. And so when a mother rejects the father, for example, in this case, then somehow you reject that part in your daughter or in your son, if whatever it is, but in this case, it was the daughter. So unconsciously, that creates a rejection. I don't like that part of him in you. And that's what she developed when she was about to breastfeed, and to create that rejection as well. And also, this daughter felt like it was my fault, something is wrong with me. So this guilt, and the mother felt guilty because she couldn't do it, but she didn't know she was unconsciously rejecting that part of him in her daughter. And it was beautiful to see how she humbly got to see this and to accept it and to integrate, to include this man as part of his life, his system, because he was there, but he still is part of her system. If we deny it, we attract it somehow. So she had other relationships with other issues later on in her life. And it is important to include him because he belongs. And when you include that person in your system, in this case him, then the daughter feels that it's okay to love myself. Because mom now, it's like the mom gives the permission for the daughter to love the father and to accept that part of the father in herself. Otherwise, it creates that own self-rejection. I don't like this part of me because my mom doesn't like it. And she wanted mom accept me like this, but I don't like this part of me either. So there was all of these dynamics that can be affecting someone in a deep, deep level. and they are hard to recognize. And the thing is that people tend to work things outside, doing the diets and this and that, but that's not really going to get to the root. And that's why it becomes difficult to change the situation, because it has a root that needs to be seen, recognized, included, recognition, whatever it was, reconciliation, acceptance, forgiveness, release that guilt, that guilt that she was feeling, for example, it needed to be also transcended. Then she could understand better that things that happened were supposed to happen like that, because he was just coming to show her something that she needed to see in herself. And that changed everything. Once you get to see it, it doesn't happen to you again, because now you are aware of it. You consciously integrate that. And that creates a great change as well. So that was my share today. I wanted to give you this angle of the systemic angle, so you can understand better that most of the conflicts that we are living today in our life are based on unresolved memories from our ancestors. And I feel like this mother really is loving. She is giving love to her daughter by just doing this sort of reconciliation from the soul, from her heart, with sincerity. Not by just understanding what happened. Because in the constellation, you get a greater state of comprehension, but beyond that, you get an experience where you feel it. And if you feel it, then it happens. If you don't feel it, you only understood it, and that could be a step forward. But it's didn't get to the soul. We need to touch the soul. And so if you have never constellated, and you maybe have some situations that need to review, then I do one-on-one sessions online and on site if you live in the area of Orlando, Kissimmee, in Florida. Or you can join our group sessions online on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we do group constellations there. So I'll be happy if you join. If you like this video, like it. If you want to share it, because maybe you're seeing something in someone else's and now you're saying, oh, I hadn't seen it that way before. That's giving me a good insight, because these sharings that I'm doing here are for you to see yourself. I hadn't seen it like that before. To give you some awareness, some different observations. And also you can visit my website, mayadaridelsol.com. You can make an appointment there, or you can join the group classes there, Journey to the Soul. And it was good being here with you today. Thank you for watching and for subscribing if you haven't. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time around.